Welcome back, and we're going to discuss customers and competitors again. So, who are these people, and why are they so important? So, we're going to discuss customer understanding on who will pay for my product or service. What are going to be my customer base? Like, who's the one that's going to shell out the money for what I'm creating here? What keeps my customers happy and loyal? Like, what's ensuring that customer satisfaction is high? What are my current customers, or who are my current customers? Who are these people that are going to be purchasing? Like, what is this in a specific niche market? Is this the masses? Is it a select group? You want to know who your customers are intricately so you can make sure you market to them as well. How competitive is your market? You want to know this as well, as far as like, is there hundreds of retailers? Is there thousands of them? Is there like a few that do what you specifically do? You want to know this so you can have a better lay of the land as far as like going into it. Once you have a good understanding of that, you can do more customer specialization. This is utilizing your testing research that you've done in the past as far as focus groups, customer surveys, all the quantitative and qualitative study research that you were doing in order to utilize it to know your customer base a little bit better. That way you can scale down or up your market reach. You might find that your demographic is very small. It's a certain age group, it's a certain gender, it's a certain regional demographic area that you're going after. You can scale down your marketing and launch plan to mimic or go after that specifically. Or you can scale it up. If you notice that it's something that might reach out to a larger group, you could make it more robust in a larger adventure as far as marketing is concerned. You want to ensure that you're gaining revenue and ensure that you have customers that are loyal and residual, so you can constantly have a revenue stream to go along with that. You want to know how you're going to approach and sell your product and service, as far as how are you going to get your product and service in front of the possible customer base that you're looking into. That's going to be all about the marketing and launch. Ensure that your customer base that would buy your specific product or service knows it's there, sees it, and is able to access it when need be. From that, you also want to look into the market climate as far as like how competitive or what is the competitive field look like? Is it a lot of competitors? Is it a few? Is it a variety of offerings? Is it something that's not specialized? This is just to give you an idea of what you're going into as far as a competitive makeup. What's the public opinion of market? Is it something that's favorable? Is it like green technology, which is very popular and people are all for it? Is it something that's a little bit more has animosity toward it? I mean, back in 2008, during the economic downturn and the, I guess, real estate bubble bursting, many people had animosity towards realtors, mortgage brokers, and banks for that specific reason. So you want to know that your public opinion is going to be how it's going to look at, so that way you can cater your marketing to that as well. Is there any legal or regulatory changes? Is this a highly regulated field I'm going into? Is this medical or education where I have to abide by certain legal regulatory agencies? And then what is the best way to reach my customers? Is it going to be Google ads? Is it going to be social media? Is it going to be billboards? Is it going to be print? You want to know so you can cater your marketing plan to it. Once you get that emphasis on your customer base, that's when you turn to the competition portion. And that when you figure out, you ask your general questions like, who are my competitors? Like, who's am I going to be competing against? Is it going to be, and then make sure you don't just look at apples to apples as far as a competitor that offers exactly the same things as you, because that's not always the case. If you're doing, let's say, a entertainment-based service or product, anything that essentially could entertain a person would essentially be a possible competition. So you want to try to match them as close as you can, but know that just because, let's say, you're opening up a steakhouse for a restaurant, so to speak, other steakhouses are not necessarily just your only competition. Other restaurants in general are competition as well. So you want to know, you want to start finiting like what specifically, what makes people want to come to your specific establishment. Is it the ambiance? Is it the food? Is it the menu prices? What? And that's when you ask like how are they different than you, and what is the extent of their reach? You want to know what is making your company specifically unique, or how are you going to be differentiating between your competition, and then how far can your competition reach? Is this a small retailer that has a very like low demographic or regional reach, or is it a very large retailer like a Walmart that spans across the almost the world, so to speak? And then you want to know what you can learn from them. What did they do right? What did they do wrong? What can you, I guess, capitalize on? Where do you see a weak point in their chain of armor, so to speak, that you can go after? Once you've established that, you look at finding this actual competition. You can do this through just Google searches. You can do it through local business directories of regional areas to figure out like what's in your demographic or regional area. Your local chamber of commerce. All businesses have to be listed through the state that function within the headquarters of their home state. So you can find it through there. I'll be honest, there's not going to be a whole bunch of information on there, but you can at least find a listing. Their advertisement. If they're a pretty large establishment you're going against, they're going to have some kind of advertisement you can come across, and that's how you can learn who your competition is. New press reports. If they're a new company or a company that's getting into a different market segment that's going to be competing with you, you can see the press reports before they actually release and figure out exactly what you can do to combat that. Exhibitions, trade shows, or fairs. This is just like your testing phase. If you're going into, the Comic Cons, the DEF Cons, the Black Hats, the trade shows, the farmers markets, wherever your demographic is as far as customer base, you can also look at other companies that are doing this as well. And those potentially could be competitors that you would have to, I guess, fight over or fight with over customer base and market share. Information provided by customers. I always recommend on customer surveys, if you do them, to offer a section where the customer lists like what they're doing for that service or where have they purchased this products, these types of products before. That way you can see directly like who the customer is purchasing from, and that way you know exactly who your customer base is comparing you to when they're doing their comparative testing or their comparative analysis for themselves to purchase. Flyers and marketing research that you just come across. You can also search existing patent products that are similar to yours if you're doing a specific design or product. You can find patents that go along with that. And then, of course, planning applications or building work in progress. If you're a storefront and have a brick and mortar location, if you notice a new complex being built up or, I guess, a suite of business condos going up, you might want to take a look at what's going in those. Or what's, I guess, these buildings are going to be, because they might be something that's similar to you and they'll be direct competition that's very close in proximity. Once you've established like who your nucleus of competitors are going to be, that's when you need to start learning about them and almost become spies, so to speak, in a good way. I mean, competition breeds a good economic environment for customers and for businesses. But you want to know the products and services they provide and how they market them to their customers. Like, what does their strategy look like, and what do they offer as far as products and services? What are the prices they charge? Are they very expensive? Are they very cheap? Are they middle ground? I mean, what's the market as far as cost is concerned and prices that they go with? How are they able to do that? How they distribute and deliver. Are they very traditional? Like it's an online retailer that sends out through UPS or USPS or FedEx. You might be able to find a niche or a different way of doing that to be able to make the process more efficient or quicker for the customer. The devices they employ to enhance customer loyalty and back up their service they offer, as far as like how are they ensuring customer satisfaction, that their customers are loyal and coming back for additional either services or products that they go through. You want to look at their loyalty program and their customer satisfaction and services so you can either duplicate or differentiate in some way, shape, or form. Their brand or design, like what that looks like. You want to make sure that you're different. You're different that way as well. If there's companies that have similar logos, they might get confusing. The staff members and the caliber of the staff that they attract and have. If they're, I always like use the example of like Walmart. Their staff is not known to be friendly or helpful. Maybe a seldom few here and there that are because they just are, but usually you get the ambiance of the not so favorable from a Walmart staff, as opposed if you go to, let's say, like a Target, where the staff is a little bit more friendly and more higher caliber as far as helpful and being more customer service oriented. That makes a difference. And that's also a way you can be a differentiating factor between the organizations and also attract better talent as far as your employee pool. How do they use technology or information technology? Are they using technology to be more efficient, to make the customer experience a little bit more quick and efficient? A lot of retailers are using mobile devices as far as like iPhones or tablets to do the checking out process so customers can get checked out immediately as opposed to waiting in a line and going to a traditional register. A very small change, but it enhances the customer satisfaction and experience and also alleviates space in your retail spots. So you don't have to section off an area for a traditional cash register. You can have more open space to house more products and to have more of a walking area for traffic for the customers. Who owns a business and what sort of person are they? Are they some type of like shady person? Are they a religious person? That can matter to people. A lot of times people will make purchases or go to companies that they either agree with or they have similar political or religious views to. So you might be able to use that as an advantage or something to differentiate between, or to know what customers may not be the best suited for you. Their annual report. If they're a publicly traded company, everything has to be put onto an investor page and they're made public. So you're able to take a look at that. Their You could say the revenue stream, their profit margins, their losses, their assets, all that stuff has to be reported on. Then, of course, their media activities. What are they doing as far as their websites? Or are they doing like local newspaper ads, coupons, radio, television, billboards, hot air balloons, whatever? All those media activities matter because you can kind of pick and choose what might work best for you and what might be a waste of money. Now, once you've learned all this, that's when you need to act on your analysis and create the marketing plan to go with that. That's the whole point of all of this, is you need to learn as much as you can to get the most bang for your buck when it comes to marketing and launching, because those can be wasted dollars that will hemorrhage from a company if done incorrectly, and not you'll never reap what you sow if you don't do it right. So what you want to make sure to do is you want to learn as much as you can from what your competitors do and what they don't do, so you can make adjustments to it. You want to know where you can be better. Can you be? Are they failing at customer satisfaction? Are they failing at customer service? Are they failing with efficiency? Are they outdated with technology? You can make a difference right then and there, and that way you can be better and different. Make sure that your products and services are unique and that they offer a different customer experience for when your customers work with your specific organization. And that way you can attract their customers, because you have to remember that customer base is not infinite. It's a finite specific resource of percentages, and that market might change and fluctuate a little bit based on economic trends or needs or wants, but it's going to still always be a finite number. You have to make sure you carve out your space and do what you need to stay there. And want to be profitable, revenue, and potential growth in what you're doing. And that way you also could see if the market you're in is oversaturated, or if you've done as much as you can with that and you need to differentiate and start offering different products and services to go along with your repertoire, because you might see that you're hitting a stalemate and that you need to start diversifying your portfolio as far as businesses and ventures. But the key thing is taking all this research and acting correctly on it. And we'll discuss this next for marketing when we actually start building the plan to go along with all this research and information that you've been gathering. That's enough for customers and competition for today. And we'll pick up marketing next. Thanks.